Welcome back to our Potter's Walk. No one's calling for Mark Robbins' head on here yet, but our question this week is, how many more games does this continue for before we have to ask some questions? We've got George, Adam, Carl and Ryan fresh back from that Leicester draw, and they're not very happy. We've got some players that need calling out as well. Injuries, yes, but we're now back in 16th place, our old favourite spot, of course, and 4 wins in 19 just isn't good enough. What's your take on it all? Great to have your company back with us. It's a Stoke City podcast. It's 20 minutes every single week going over the good, the bad, and the indifferent takes on this famous old club. Coming up then this week, we're discussing, how many more games do we give Robbins before questions have to be asked? What's going on with Nzonzi? Talk about the new training ground. How good does that look? Who do we want up from League One? And who gets in our A to Z for the letter Q? If you've got any good ones, we'll love to hear them. Let's start off then, shall we then, Adam, with this question. This poster says, obviously we're not quite at this stage yet, but how many more poor results would it take for Mark Robbins' role as manager to be under legitimate pressure, in your opinion? Joe replied, he's won 4 in 19. He's almost as bad as the last manager with the same sample size. He's had one big transfer window and it isn't showing any tactical know-how. I didn't think we'd be here, Adam, but we are. How many more games for you before we have to start asking questions?
Really, really tricky situation. Robbins has got a lot of good grace in the bank because of the start of the season that we had, and obviously the injury situation that we've had. But I'm sick of hearing about the injury situation now. Every team has it. Every team has injuries, and at some point they all have terrible injuries like we have. Saying that, when you look at the form table, I think we're now 20th in the form table, and 4 wins in 19 isn't good enough. And I did actually put some stats up on X earlier. When you look at it, of our 7 managers that we've had in the 8 years that we've been in the Championship, Robbins now sits smack bang in the middle at number 4 with 3 worse and 3 better. Now, if you looked at that stat 10 games ago, he was second. So it's really up now. It's really based on the results between now and the end of the season, because what have we got 13 games left? Is that right? 13, 14 games, something like that. Yeah. So, if he finds a bit of form and turns this slump around and actually has a good end to the season, we could perhaps put it down to the injuries and go again next season and see what he can do with recruitment. If he continues on his current vein and his form actually falls under, I think it's Alex Neil who's got the next worst points per game ratio than him. If it falls below that and then he's looking at Nathan Jones and bloody Narcis Palach levels of form, then I don't see that he lasts. But and I've put this out there again, I'm sick of us looking at this manager's position. It's not the manager's. We've had experienced managers, we've had international managers, we've had brand new coaches who are supposed to be the next best thing. We've tried and tested them all, and none of it works. So the question comes to me is, when do we stop looking at the manager's position and start looking up? And whether that's John Coates, whether that's John Walters, whether it's both of them. Personally speaking, for me, I think John Coates needs to step away from running the club. And that's not for anyone to jump into the comments and say I'm bashing the coach. I'm not. I think he needs to step away from the chairman's position and bring somebody in to run the club for him. And I think he's too close to it. But that's just my opinion. I know that might get a lot of negative feedback. I think he runs the club with his heart instead of his head. And I think that's is the only consistency of the last 8 years. And that's all I can put it down to now. We've changed managers. We've changed the squad 25 times over. We've changed the sporting director. We've changed the transfer team. We've changed everything except for the chairman who's running the club.
Okay.
So that was my 4-minute rant.
You're not on your own there, Adam. Lots of people online. Lots of people agreed with you. This one particularly. Lou says, don't blame the man. It's been the same for 8 years before he's arrived. John Bald, bowling ball Coates, needs someone alongside him, SAP. He's taken over from his dad and never made one right decision in his life. If it wasn't for his dad and his sister, he'd be working in Mackey's, says Lou. George, you're not Robbins out, but are you hearing people in the ground saying that now?
Yeah, mostly after that Charlton game, Twitter's been full of Robins out and stuff. But if we talk about Robins out, then one person he started for me is John Walters. I don't know how he's still here. He got appointed at the start of 2024 to the end of the season, but got appointed as the main sporting director and making weird decisions like sacking Schumacher, then got Narcissus Pelican. For me, he should have gone straight after that. John Walters should have. Don't know why he's still here, but yeah, that's the thing with Stoke. John Walters, just being on the downhill since John Coates got in charge as the chairman. But yeah, Robins is probably under a bit of pressure for the loss yesterday. I think maybe fans might start to turn. Wednesday's a big game for me. Wednesday's a massive game. But if we're going to look at Robins going out, for me, it's Walters got to go for me.
Okay.
It's funny, isn't it, that we keep saying that, like, we get a point to every season where we say this is the biggest game since our relegation, and it really is. Again, we're here again at the Oxford game, probably one of the only teams worse than the same. If we don't win this, then it could all go to shite again.
Yeah, definitely.
Just to balance out the argument here, Carl, Jugger's Header says if Victor, Junior, Baker, and Bozanic had been fit, we'd have had at least 7 points than we have now, and we'd be in the playoff positions. It's been incredibly frustrating, but I don't see how you can blame the manager here. Do you agree?
Yes and no. The injuries have been key injuries, haven't they? I know every team's had injuries, but they've all been fringe player injuries or short-term injuries. Ours have been long-term injuries to key players. Losing Victor Johansson, Baker and Junior is massive, absolutely massive. There's no team that has had injuries that has lost players in key positions for such long periods of time. But I am certainly not Robins out. I cannot be bothered with the manager merry-go-round. How many times, Pep Guardiola couldn't turn it around, it'd seem, with this club. So I understand everybody's frustrations. It's definitely not good enough at the minute. But you can't get rid of another manager because it'll be the same again, won't it? These aren't my players. They don't fit my formation. I need a pre-season. I need a transfer window. Come in. We'll end up 16th and we start again. As the lads have said, it's got to be something up above. I mean, we've just got rid of the assistant coach, haven't we, this week or last week? The possession coach. I think we're the only club in the history that can get rid of a possession coach and actually be worse on possession the next game. It's not good enough. It isn't good enough. Robins has to be accountable for his in-game management, for some of his tactics, for his substitutions. He is responsible for that. He can't be responsible for the injuries, and he cannot be responsible for players not taking chances. Yesterday, by the end of the first half, we should have been out of sight. Should have been own clear, game done. And you can't blame the manager for missed chances. I mean, that header, it did come out to Secco quite quick. He missed an open goal. There was loads, there was chance after chance. And if that game had ended half-time, happy days. But it didn't.
There's a big one for me that is on his shoulders, though. That again, looking at the details and the data behind it, in those first 10 games of the season, obviously Sorba Thomas was on red hot form and scoring and assisting left, right, and centre, and Mubama got us a few 5-6 goals. The player after that was assisting and scoring the most was Manuf. Manuf's been sat on the bench since January. He's fit, and he's not playing.
He's not been the same player since Junior Shamadou left that squad.
Yeah.
Since he got injured, Manuf was awful. I was screaming for him to be dropped. And I just think Junior used to complement him brilliantly. And obviously, you're playing Maxi or whoever we'd be playing at right back. And Manuf's the shadow of the player. So I do sort of agree with him on dropping Manuf. But obviously, we haven't got the answer at the minute anyway. So
I think
it's one of them.
That, though, if you look at the stats, regardless of those injuries, we've conceded the least amount of goals in the division. We've got the best defensive record in the division. It's our attacking stats. We're the 6th worst attacking team in the division. That's the problem. We don't score enough goals. And if you've got someone like Manuf, again, I'm not really bothered about his defensive work if he hasn't got that partnership and he isn't tracking back when you've got the best defense in the division. You need your best attacking players. And all right, Manuf, he's not the most consistent player in the world and has his moments, but he can score and he can assist, and that's just not what we're doing at the minute. Frustrates the life out of me sometimes.
Chisel, Ryan, let's bring you into the debate on Nzonzi, if that's okay, please, because he's been getting a few headlines as well. Here's one to get your teeth in through. Matt M says, same tribe every week. Maybe sort the subs out, mate. We completely lost grip of the game having Nzonzi on the pitch. The bloke is closer to pissing the bed at night than breaking a sweat. Lose Wednesday and it's time to walk. The subs are criminal every single game. Don't mince your words on that, M. Where are you on Nzonzi? Is he ruining his legacy?
Yeah, simple fact is, he's ruining his legacy. I think he'd be better as a impact sub on, in League One. To be honest, I think that would be his level now, and it's horrible to see. We thought he's had one or two games, but he just, he doesn't really need the legs for it because his head is amazing where he can follow the ball and everything. But if he carries on how he does, it's not. I can see him not being renewed anyway come next season, and that'll be that. But and it'll just be sort of remembered as Nzonzi was the player that we finished 16th again. So because that's where we're sitting right now. We're back at home. We're sitting in our lovely spot on the sofa at 16th, and it's just there's nothing more to say. It is frustrating, as Adam says. It's frustrating.
We all asked for Bocat to start last week. And we got our wishes. Mark says, why take Bocat off, though, when he was offering a threat going forward, but seemed to be reeled back by Robbins? Sorba's knackered. Schmidt needs to get stuck in. Juno has tried again, offered nothing. Seko's terrible, but gets involved all the time to be shot down. George, do you agree with all that? Are the subs winding fans up as well?
Yeah, well, the sub's been a problem for months now. I mean, you bring on Gibson, who's probably the worst centre-back we've had in years at Stoke, and I just don't get what he was doing there. Bocat, for me, I think he's been brilliant when he's been playing. And I just don't get the subs again. Gibson, I don't know why he comes on. He brought Ratsaka on way too late for me. Marifon should have been on early. I think we should have made early subs again, but I just don't get the Gibson one for me. And the Bocat one, it's just strange again. The subs for me, it just needs to improve with the subs.
I just wish you'd do a fans forum where we could all just sit and ask Mark Robbins these questions and see what's going through. What the hell is going through his head? Like, it just needs to be like we do it, I don't know, when we're having a drop off and tell us what he's thinking. Then we can understand.
I think
it'd be great.
The game massively changed with bringing Pearson off, didn't he? Pearson got his yellow card, and who would have thought we'd have said this at the start of the season, that when Pearson isn't on the field, our midfield is literally non-existent. He is the only midfielder and it doesn't matter whether he plays with Nzonzi, he plays with Seko, he plays with whoever. We seem to be okay when Pearson's on the pitch. And whenever he's not, that's when it falls apart, because nobody else has either got the footballing brain, the legs, or the ability to put a tackle in. But we all know that
I think we struggled this season with a centre-mid partnership. Like we've been swapping all season with a centre-mid partnership. Baker's been a massive miss in that midfield for me, because he's a player who can go up and go back. I think we've been definitely missing Baker in there and the partnership for me this season, and that's been all through the season. I know we had a brilliant start to the season, but I still think we're missing the partnership for all the season for me.
We're missing everything, every position in that midfield. Yeah, again, I mentioned it on X again, and I put it in the group to the lads earlier, that our glorious number 10, who seems to be loved by everybody, Juno, has a worse goals per game ratio than Ben Wilmot now, after Wilmot's 2 goals yesterday. So if your number 10's got less goals than your centre back, then you're in trouble. And that seems to be the same. There's an argument for every position on the pitch, and that you can argue that the player that plays there just isn't good enough. And again, that comes back down to the recruitments. And again, you look at these people that we've paid money for, Schmidt and Rigo and Cisse, and they're just not good enough. They're not good enough for this division. It's all right having 1 or 2 of them. Having 5, 6, 7, 8 of them in your squad, you can't carry that many of them.
True.
I think Adam's fuming today.
I
don't blame him. Everyone should be fuming.
Feel the heat. What we
make it up for last time.
Let us know in the comments where you stand on this. I mean, if you think it's ridiculous that people are even questioning Robbins, let us know. We love that. If you think he should be given the Oxford game and that's it, and if you lose to Oxford, he should be gone, we'd love to hear that as well, because some fans are saying you lose to Oxford on Wednesday night or Tuesday night. Yeah, he's under serious pressure. On brighter notes, let's have a chat about this, shall we? 10 million new first team training facility. You've watched the videos. Yeah, what do we make, Carl? Think of it, Carl.
It just rings out all the gear. No idea, don't it? It's class facilities. Probably one of the best, if not the best in the Championship. They're still Premier League standards. John Coates has put his money where his mouth is. In terms of investing in the club, you can't fault the bloke. In terms of managing the club, as Adam said, you need somebody in there with a bit of football know-how. But yeah, the facilities, because that's what the original question was. Facilities look class, look really good. Everybody, Stoke fans being so well, I don't know what the word is. Stoke fans being Stoke fans, look at it straight away. They moaned. They said, Walters has got a bigger office than Robbins. Straight away. They have to hit it with the negative. I was like, it looks really good, state of the art. They've got this swimming pool, they've got this sauna, they've got all this hydrotherapy stuff. I mean, Gallagher's going to be in that sports watching room. We need more chairs in the sports room as well. That's what I saw in the video room.
Definitely.
They just can't be happy, can they? They cannot give a positive class.
The way the team's playing right now, they shouldn't even be allowed in there. They should leave the ribbon on the door, put them in porter cabins on the Mitch car park like they used to have 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whenever it was, and tell them when they start performing, then they can go in the nice luxury new training grounds. Then they can have
a massive punishment. They should do all training now on Vale Park. Have a bit of that, lads.
Right. Which team would we like up from League One is a conversation we're having across our channels. Ryan, good away days that you're looking at there. Which one would you like?
I don't know. Bradford maybe, but that's just bad. But it's a historical stadium in a way, isn't it, Bradford? I mean, Bolton are up there, aren't they? I think.
Yeah.
I did wanted Blackpool. We all want Blackpool. Yeah, because one of my best mates plays for Blackpool, so I could give him grief when we play him. But yeah, there's not many. I mean, they're all. We've seen Cardiff. We've been to Bolton. We haven't been to Bradford. Stockport's been a while. Been someone fresh, someone new would be
Lincoln.
Nice.
Okay. Lincoln, yeah, they're second here.
Like, you know, someone new, not the same yo-yos like we get with Prem, like we get the same with the Championships, up and down. Let's get fresh in.
Right, bro. Right, cheers for that. A to Z coming up then. I'm going to disappear and let these four have a quick chat about who gets in the A to Z for the letter Q, what past players or events, quarterfinals can get in there as well. Thanks for your comments on this next week. Good news is next week they get back to go to normal, the letter R, S and T. I'll say thank you for watching. These four are going to carry on talking about Q and any other things that they need to get off their chest this week. Drop us a subscribe if you've already done so. This is 20-minute chat. 20 minutes of Stoke City chat every single week. I'll catch you next week.
Q then, buddy.
We haven't got one, have we? Is there a single player?
I was thinking about this. So Q, I'm going to go. I don't know if we did. Did we beat Liverpool in a quarter-final with Shaq when we were in the black with the green stripe down? Was that a quarter-final? Or did we not beat them? I can't remember.
That was the start of the dark times. That was right. We beat them in the second leg 1-0 and then lost on penalties in the semi-final. And then that was the start of everything that came after we got relegated. We went on a bad run the end of that season. The season after we got relegated, and ever since we've been where we are. So that was the start. But it was a good. I actually went that game as well where we beat Liverpool. It was a good game until we went out on penalties.
Unless someone in the comments can think of a Q player.
There isn't a Q player.
The only Q I remember
there's no Q player. I researched that.
It's only Andy Quire, the former Stoke goalkeeper coach. Search up the other day.
I mean, actually, he had a good run of goalkeepers, did Andy Quite, to be
Yeah,
fair
true.
to him. He's,
I think that I mean, we've been in a few quarterfinals, haven't we? And we had that good run where we had the quarterfinal, got to the semis, got to the final for the FA Cup. So I mean, the
that was my
quarterfinal.
one. That was my one that I was going to call out. We beat West Ham in the quarterfinal of
that's
the
the one for
FA
me.
Cup run.
Yeah.
Iggy Wilson scored the free kick, didn't he? If I remember rightly. But was it 1-0 or did we win 2-1? I remember.
Yeah, that's the one I
free
put in.
kick.
No idea. It was about
2-1. We won that one 2-1.
I even know if I was born.
2-1. Yeah.
But I just want to quickly mention as well, and I'm going back to the debate of Adam's long debate of when we were mentioning about John Coates. I'm seeing it everywhere, all over Twitter, X, whatever, about John Coates out, sell up. I personally, and I'm hating this because my partner is an accountant who has to actually deal with John Coates, the audit Stoke. He's the most loveliest bloke in the world. He has a deep heart of passion for Stoke. And people just throwing the abuse. Okay, he's done it wrong. Yeah, he needs to step back. But him selling the Coates he's selling up would, I think, be an absolute misery, would be a downfall. Who's going to come in apart from maybe the Saudis? No idea. I think it would be the most just.
No, I don't think, even with all my criticisms of how, and we're not talking about the Coates family, we're talking particularly about John's reign of the club, because Peters was obviously very successful at the end. He had his dark times as well, back before you two were born. But yeah, I would not at all would I want the Coates family to sell the club. That's not at all in my mind thinking that. I think he just needs to step away and just allow somebody else to come in with a bit of sane decision making who isn't. Again, I don't believe that John Coates makes a decision that's bad for the club at all, what he perceives as bad for the club. I just think because he loves the club probably as much as we do. He's grown up with the club. He supports the club. He loves the club. That he's just a bit too close.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone else has listened to it when he's gone on the podcast, the official Stoke City podcast, Potter's Pod. I mean, talks brilliantly. You can see full well that he has love, passion for it. But I just seen it everywhere. So I just want to, as obviously we had the comment with about John Coates. Keep him where they are. We've got Denise who look out.
The difference between the John Coates and Peter Coates is that, Peter Coates has had a lifetime's experience of running a lot of different businesses alongside Stoke, and he admittedly made mistakes and was successful in some areas and not in others. His first run at Stoke was unsuccessful, and he opened up and admitted that. But he could see his failings, where I think John at the minute he's in this, he's probably in the same frame of mind that Peter Coates was in his first run of his love for the club is overriding his decision making a little bit too much. And we need to make the wrong decisions, but all trusting in people, I suppose, is probably the one. It's not even
jobs for the boys, I'm guessing. I mean, Shawcross seems to be the only one that's successful. I mean, the John Walters criticism, I'm like on the fence with it. Okay, I don't know what he's doing, if he's doing anything wrong. It's his goals or whatnot. But I think, a change of it up top, not like Cole said, the managers. I do not even attempt to go on that manager merry-go-round again. That would be just atrocious, wouldn't it?
You can't start with the manager again. As I say, it's got to be up above. It's Walters for me. As much as a cult hero of a player he was, that Palak decision when he sacked Schumacher and put Palak in, that was
straight away.
And then I say, Schumacher is now though. He's with Bolton. Would he not have got another championship job? Was it the right decision? Because he hasn't really. Bolton were calling for his head, to be honest, a month back. So maybe it was the right decision. And Irene Palak
in the league.
No, but they were called. They had a real bad run, and they were calling for his head, and they were hating him. Okay, they've picked up now and whatnot. But would he not?
The lad's turned it around. He has turned it around, hasn't he?
Yeah, but yeah, there's a whole debate of that as well, and you know, it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, like I said before,
I
with the
think,
points
like I
per
say,
game,
coach needs somebody with him.
Yeah,
yeah, it does.
an actual
With the managers, to like say to Carl and Ryan's point, you know, the points per game ratio. You look at Schumacher's got the best overall points per game ratio, but he had what? That was it, 33, 34 games
Yeah.
of his old charge. So you take that away. Even Gary Rowett is third on the list. He was in charge 30 odd games. So again, it's nothing. You have to look at O'Neill's run of 140 odd games. He had 100 games more than them two. Where if them two would have had long range, would they be similar to Robbins's now? So it's all, you can run stats however you want to run them, can't you? Basically,
the thing is,
it doesn't really tell you anything.
we could truly sit 4 hours, and people in the comments could probably watch it and whatnot for hours. And you know, you could just a paragraph, but I think, I just wanted to make the point of John Coates, and I hope people can see on the pod and agree with that. I think, you know, after the comment that was made about him, I just don't think we should be
fully agree
making comments like that, you know, because I know John Coates is not going to see it, or he's not going to be bothered by it, but karma can catch up, and that will, if we're not careful, will happen, where we'll push him out, and it'll just be a disaster. But
I think,
Well, that's 3 points on Wednesday. Come on.
I was going to say that's a good place to end. I think next time we catch up next
3
Sunday,
points
we'll
on
have
Wednesday.
3 points on Wednesday. 3-0 win.
We'll have 6 points this time next week. Don't worry about it. We'll be ready.
Let's go round, George. What's your prediction for Wednesday?
I'm gonna go for 2-0.
Adam.
2-0.
1-0.
Carl.
0-0.
Oh, he is there. He's right. You signal. I'm going with a ball draw of 0-0.
Oh God.
I also said, obviously, you've probably seen I'm in the way end as well, so I'm hoping it's 0-0.
To clarify, 1-0 Stoke. Just
Gonna start sideways to Oxford store, right?
Well, Carl's offered me 20 quid if that happens. So, but thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next week,
guys.